Hey there, my name is Prakash. I am the head of product and one of the co-founders of Xano. I wanted to take just 4 minutes and walk you through what Xano is. So first and foremost, we like to say we're the fastest way to build a powerful, scalable backend for your application without using any code. But in order to appreciate this, you have to know what a backend is. And this is the general setup. You obviously have your front end, which is what the user interacts with on their web or mobile device. And then you have the back end, which basically handles all of the business logic. Now, to understand this concept, I will use Amazon.com as an example. Think about their one-click buy. Now, the user might see just the button that says buy now, but then when they click buy now, the back end has to then process, is the credit card valid? Is there inventory? To contact the distribution center to see which one is closest to them. There are lots of operations that have to happen that is usually handled by the backend. Now, the backend usually consists of three major components: a server, which is really the container or engine for your application, the database, which is the store of all your data and where everything lives, and then your API, which is the messenger that runs back and forth between the front end to the back end to deliver data to the user, transform data, and then store it back into the back end. So let's go into the Xano project and kind of show you how this works. First of all, I highly recommend that you fill this out. This helps us tailor the Xano experience to you, making sure that you're successful using the product. I'm going to click Get Started, and the workspace is basically like a container for your app. So I'm going to just call this the restaurant app. I'll build a very simple application. There's three ways to get started. We're going to start from scratch today, but if you're coming to us from Airtable, we have a great Airtable import where you can sync your bases and your relationships and your content. Or you can start with one of these backend templates. So let's say you were building an Airbnb-like application. You could use the rental marketplace, right? And this comes with pre-made database tables and APIs, so you can just basically build on top of that. So starting from scratch, remember, we're going to build a restaurant application. Super simple. I'll just make a restaurant table. This is asking me to define database tables. It's also saying that it's going to automatically generate all of the CRUD API endpoints for the tables that I've specified. Clicking continue, I'm able to pre-install certain features for my application, so you don't have to worry about all that heavy lifting. You can just enter your API key and you're good to go. I'm going to skip this for now, and I'll just click finish. But you'll see also that we support email via JWE tokens out of the box. That's how your users sign up and log in. Or if you want Google OAuth or Facebook, you can click one of these buttons and install this as well. And we have more coming soon. So in the Xano dashboard or the Xano main menu, there's a couple places that you would go. The database and the API are the two primary places where you're going to live. So the database, I'll go to the user table and I'll just add myself as a user. You can see it's a spreadsheet format, really easy to do. So prakash@email.com, and I'll put in a very simple password. And then if I wanted to add more fields, I would just hit this plus button, and you can see there's lots of different fields, including JSON objects, including geo, lots of cool stuff here that supports as field types. So then I'm going to go into the restaurant table, and I'll just add the name of a restaurant, and then I can also add a table reference, right, to the user, because I'll say that a restaurant is tied to a user. So I'm going to enter in my favorite restaurant. And then the user ID, I can just click it and you can see it auto-completes because it knows that it's a table reference to the user table. So that's pretty cool. So going to my API, in my default API group, you can see that this API is live and ready to go. So not only that, but Xano actually auto-documents everything in Swagger. So if you're working with a front-end engineering team, everything that you do here in Xano is automatically synced. I'm going to go into the Get Restaurant API endpoint, and you can see there are three components. What is the user feeding us in a query parameter from the front end? What functions are executed, and what is it returning? So you can see with this API endpoint, there's only one function in the function stack. Go to the restaurant database table and return me the restaurants. So if I run and debug this here, I can see that I'm getting via Maestra tied to user ID. But one of the cool things that Xano allows you to do is enrich this. So if I wanted to see more than just user ID, but actually wanted to see my name, we have this fancy thing called add-ons. So if I click on the query all records and I go to the input, I can add on to this response. And I'll just create a new one. I'll say I want a user. I want the single item of that user. It automatically selects everything for me, and I can click done. And then it knows that it's going to take anywhere it sees that user ID and it's going to enrich it with that name of that user. So pretty cool stuff. Again, just scratching the surface. There are so much more in the function stack. I could do other database requests. I can do data manipulation like conditionals and loops and math. Or I can hit an external API request and bring in external data to work with here within Xano. So again, this is just scratching the surface. We can't wait for you to use the product. We're a super hands-on team, and we can't wait to see you and help out. Thank you.